you doing? Welcome back to the show. We've got the Cali76 compression pedal from Origin Effects to check out today. It's a really fun pedal that just gives your whole amp a totally different dynamic, so stick around, we'll check it out. This is the first compression pedal I've ever had. I'm used to using indoor software and all the different VSTs and things that we have, but it's the first time I've actually sat down and just tried to get it like a fundamental understanding of what it actually does to your guitar amp and your tone and how to actually use it in an everyday sense. It's an effect that's used on just about every record out there, whether it's a really subtle effect or something that's really saturated. This is just the first time I've sat down and actually just tried to really work it out and manipulate my tone the way that I'd like it. So the Cali76 is based upon the 1176 Uri, which is really high quality outboard compressor that's used in a lot of recording studios. It's got loads of features and it really is comparable to high quality rack gear that's just been condensed down to a pedal. The basic features of the pedal are really straightforward when you start to understand how compression works with your tone. I'll try and make as much sense as I can describing what each of the dials do, but my understanding for the instrument input, it's the volume going into the unit from your guitar. So it's raising the guitar volume that's being processed, so that the more that you actually turn that up, the more of the peaks that you're actually going to have to clip going into the unit. So I guess the higher value with the instrument input, it seems like the more compression that gets added to the signal. And that in turn really just works with the output volume. As you increase one, you tend to decrease the other, or vice versa. And then we get to the dry dial, which is another cool feature. It allows you to blend the fully compressed signal with the pedal, with the uncompressed signal coming out of the guitar amp. And as you turn it clockwise, you just get less of the effect coming through the pedal and more of the natural guitar amp. And then we get to the release, attack, and ratio. And this is the part of the compression that a lot of people really get confused with. So the easiest way just to understand this, the higher the attack, it's lowering the latency to which the effect is applied to your guitar signal. So if you have the attack dial set fully clockwise, you're actually decreasing the time it takes for the compression to set in and actually squash your signal. So it's almost instantaneous when you have it set all that way. And if we take the dial all the way counterclockwise, there's going to be a latency now, a little bit of time before the pedal actually kicks in and squishes your signal. You're going to get a short, abrupt sort of tone that is most common with compression. And so that really just lets you tailor the pedal just to work for the tone and the style of sound that you just really want out of it. And then the ratio, this is another one that people are confused with. So the way that I understand the ratio in a compressor is it's measured in dB, and on this one, 4:1 is the minimum ratio, and all the way clockwise, it's 20:1 ratio. So essentially what that is, on the 4:1 ratio, it's 4 dB going into the pedal from your guitar and only 1 dB going out. So it's being processed 75% of that signal. So you're really getting a flavor of how the compressor unit sounds itself. So as you increase that value, you actually get more of how the compressor unit has its own tone within it. So if we go all the way to 20:1, it's 20 decibels going in, only 1 coming out. So all the way over at a 20:1 ratio, that's a whole lot of processed signal that's actually going through the unit, and it's not your raw guitar. So the whole signal is actually going to have a totally different tone to how it is at 4:1. I guess if I had to sum the ratio up, not as a value, but just as something to do with the tone of your guitar, the more you have it to the left, the more of your raw guitar tone will actually come through the compressor unit. You get more spikes, you get more troughs. But as you go through more compression, your signal will become more sort of digitized in a way. It'll become more compressed and you get the actual sound of the compressor unit. But I'll just show you exactly what I mean. This is with minimum compression. All the way 20:1 compression. And I guess that's just the easiest way to explain it, is just by actually hearing it. It flattens that signal out a whole lot more. It just makes it sound more like a radio. And then the light on the pedal, it actually changes color and shows you a different visual cue on how much compression is actually going through the pedal. So the brighter the light, the more it changes to a yellow tinge, the more compression's applied. If it's on red, it means no compression's applied at all. And that's a really basic overview of how the unit operates. You can run it in either 9 or 18 volts. I'm running it in 18 volts. You get a little bit more headroom that way. And as well as that, I'm actually running it through the effects loop of the guitar amp today. I tried it through the front end and I just found that going through the effects loop just gave me a really outboard studio style tone that I really enjoyed a lot more. It's funny when you try out new pieces of gear that just take your tone somewhere you didn't really expect. For today's video, I really intended to do like a clean style tone, capturing Metallica's And Justice for All using this setup. But I plugged in the compressor and I've got it going through the effects loop, and I just wanted to see how it sounds through the Mark II C Plus channel. And straight away I just heard Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time. It was just that whole Gallien-Kruger style amp, massive compression, a bit of chorus all on the record. And I've been trying for years to try and get that tone. I could never just get in the ballpark. I could never just really just nail it enough to where I was actually happy with it. And turns out the Cali76, as soon as I plugged that in, that was the tone, so it's perfect. It's a beautiful part of the song, that, and I really enjoyed actually the harmony to that melody. And that song is cool, but the tone, I really enjoy it. I just think it's got such a beautiful 80s vibe to it. And you can see all the settings there. All these pedals here are going through the effects loop. We're in Mark II C Plus mode. You can see all those settings there. It's a fantastic tone just for getting Iron Maiden. And then outputting from the Mark II C Plus, we're going through the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X, where we're just simulating a Marshall 412 with an SM57 pushed up to it. But that's everything about the tone today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the Cali76 from Origin Effects. There's links in the description. It really is a beautiful piece of gear, and I really think it captures that whole boutique outboard style gear that you see in recording studios, and it's condensed in a pedal. But I wouldn't look any further. Origin Effects, the Cali76. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye.